In this module, we're gonna be talking about ActiveCampaign. So we already created over here a few lists in ActiveCampaign. Now, if you haven't watched it, watch the 2 videos before this one, the one that we're talking about using direct integration for email campaigns. That's when I introduced how to create these lists on ActiveCampaign. So we're gonna take over that, and we already have created these 3 buckets. And those buckets are the ones that we talk about it in our introduction. And from there, we're going to be developing the different email campaigns. Very similar, if you were able to see the previous video on Actionetics, we're going to be doing something similar in ActiveCampaign. It's just that ActiveCampaign have more features, which makes this part a little bit more cumbersome. Could be a little bit harder. Okay, so once we have the 3 buckets, we're gonna create an automation. Very similar as in Actionetics, we create an automation for each of the lists. So we're gonna come over here to automations. Perfect. And create a new automation. So the first thing that you want to do is, okay, you're gonna give them kind of like a welcoming email or a congratulations email saying, hey, thanks for buying these things, thanks for subscribing, this is your free stuff, etc. Right? And then after that, we're gonna send them, you know, the stack of emails, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, right? So you can start from scratch, basically on a scratch automation, or you can use some of the kind of pre-built automations that are already here. Now, I really like it for a welcoming email. They usually have a welcoming email over here. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see, here it is. No, let's type welcome. There it is, welcome series. So we're gonna do this one, click here and then continue. And I like it over here because I'm gonna explain you a little bit more how this tutorial that ActiveCampaign have works. And we're gonna remove a few things because this one have way too much. But we say, okay, get started. And then we already have our list, right? So we're gonna work on our registration list. And from here, I'm gonna say, okay, I'm sending from my name. And then this is my email address. And basically this is a draft of the welcome email. So next step, they're gonna say, hey, they're gonna look at it over there. And we're gonna send them a welcome email campaign. And we're gonna work on that one a little bit later on. So hold on right now. We're just creating the automation right now. And then after that, I'm just gonna cancel it. So basically, let me show you how this works. So let's come over here to edit this welcome series. Get started. Yeah, I think I have to go through all the steps actually. You cannot just cancel it. Okay. So this is how it works, and it's very visual, but it could be confusing because as you can see right now, it's like things everywhere. But let's go one by one, just go step by step. So over here, our trigger, because this add new trigger, so there's nothing there. Our trigger is every time that the contact subscribe to my list. My list is called one registration. So every time that something like that happens, we'll come over here. And over here, I can add more actions, but it's already added over here. It's gonna send an email. It's gonna be this called welcome email. And you can even look at here the reports to see how many people were sent, how many people open it, right? And then if you want to change this, you can edit your action. And we're gonna be editing that a little bit later. Right now, I'm just gonna go through the workflow. Then it's gonna wait for 1 week. And they're gonna check for certain conditions. Did the person open the welcome email after a week? If they open it, basically you're gonna go and send another email that is the next steps. I feel a week is way too long. Probably the person already forgot what they have done a week ago. But anyways, this is how it's over here. And if they haven't opened it, you basically remind them to open the welcome email. Now over here, we're gonna change a few things. We're gonna delete all these thing action because we don't want to see if they open it or not. So just click there, delete. Over here, just come over here and delete this action and say yes. Remove also the yes and no pads. Because the only thing that I wanted to send is basically saying, hey, I want to send my welcome email, right? So I'll come over here and now let's work on this welcome email. So you can click here, edit this action, and here you can say, hey, I want to edit my welcome email. So they already give you a template on how the welcome email may look like. You can change that. So over here, this is the template, very similar to when we were in ClickFunnels, that you have the sections. You see, you can move the section over here, down there, depending on how you want it. You have settings. It just looks a little bit different, but the theory is the same. You're gonna have settings over here where you're gonna say, hey, first name person, welcome for signing this up, visit our active community, click here to download your report, etc. So I'm not gonna go through over here. There's a lot of buttons that you can add over here. Just drag and drop over here. There's the button. You can edit and say, for example, click here to download the report. And over here, there are the properties of the button, right? You can change the background color if you want it to be a red button, right? If you want it to have a border color that is black, let's say. So it's more like, you know, more clear over there. Then you can change a few other things also over here related to that button, right? So that's basically everything over here. I mean, there's a lot of things. You're gonna have to go through everything. So if you want to put a link over here, you can put over here, hey, I wanted to go to some page over here, right? And then when someone clicks the button, it goes to this page and everything. And then over here, you can even have more properties. When they click, for example, you can even add actions. Like for example, hey, you want to add a tag to this person. So later on, you know something. So you can do like crazy things over here. I'm not gonna go through all of that because I will spend an entire day. Right now, it's just the basics. Now, this tutorial is not just everything about ActiveCampaign. We're talking about ClickFunnels, but I'm talking here ActiveCampaign because a lot of people are using it to manage their email marketing. Now, that's why I'm not gonna go deep into all these options over here, because if not, it's gonna be an entire course just to use ActiveCampaign. But at least some of the features over here. Once you're done, you can just click save and exit, and your basically new welcome email will be ready to use. Now, let's take a look over here, and let's figure out. It seems that over here we have a few errors. It says this email does not have a mailing address. So remember, one of the things that you're gonna have to add to be compliant with the CAN spam is basically your mailing address, your physical mailing address, where you're going to have in all your emails. Basically, it's your business, to make sure that, hey, this email is traced back to actually a brick and mortar type of business, even though it's an online business. So you can come over here, and that's where you can change a few things. For example, you can send a test email to yourself. You can preview it over here. They also give you kind of like a spam check, just to see of saying, hey, it looks like everything is fine there. You have a few other options to add things over here. If you select an element, you have more options down there. Now, remember that we were talking about the mailing, right? So let's go click next. And over here is where you have to add your new address, right? That's where it's missing. Even it tells you over here it's missing a physical address. So you put over here my company name for beginners, and I don't know, let's say 123 Southwest Main Street, and that's in it's in Portland, and it's in Oregon, and the zip code is that one, all right? So we add this one, and now we have everything there, and then we click finish. And now we're in compliance with the CAN spam. We don't have that error anymore. And that's basically the first step, the same thing that we did in Actionetics when we say, okay, hey, I want to send an email immediately after someone just registered, right? Now, over here, there's a few other things, and you can create different automations, or you can put everything in one single automation. So I'm gonna show you how to do in one single automation. So you can click over here, and you can say, hey, I wanted to wait for a certain period of time. And here I'm gonna wait for 1 day, right? So what is gonna work is that we're gonna be sending several emails, one every day. So we send this one, that the welcoming email, and then we're gonna wait for 1 day and we're gonna send them another email, and then we're gonna wait for another day and send another email, and so on, right? So we wait for another day. Over here, we click and send an email, right? So we want to send an email, but this email is gonna be different. Now let's suppose you don't have here. It's like, oh, where's email? Because you haven't created. So that's when you click here, create a new email, and let's call it this one, day one email, right? So I remember also what that email is about. And similarly to before, they give you like here some templates, and you say, for example, hey, I'm gonna use this template. You put the subject over here, day one, check this out, for example, or something. You put over here who's sending it, continue, and then you're able to basically modify the template. So let's say, for example, I modify it, everything looks good, I like it, so I'm gonna just click save and exit for now, so I can proceed on the other things because we already did that on the previous email. And then from here, we can say, hey, I want to wait again for another day, right? So we'll wait for another day. After this one is sent, we'll wait for another day, and we send another email, right? Now, let's say, for example, we did that for 5 days emails, if we are planning to send 5 emails. One of the things that we did in Actionetics, and what we need to do, even if we're not using Actionetics, is that, hey, remember that we're on the first packet when they register. If you look at the introduction video when I did the diagram, after the first packet, email campaigns are sent. After the last email campaign is sent, we're gonna move that person from that packet into our global or all bucket, where we're gonna keep sending them a few other emails. Of course, it's not gonna be a daily type of emails, probably once a week or something like that. Everything depends on your marketing campaign, but let's take a look at how we can do it over here. So let's say we have already 5 days over here in the row, and this will be the last one. And here we want to make sure that we are taking out this person from this list. So what we're gonna be doing over here, we're gonna go to contacts. In the contacts, we are basically going to subscribe to another list. And here we're gonna say, hey, we're already on registration list. We're gonna move it to all, right? And that's basically what it's gonna do. And after that, I'm gonna unsubscribe from the current listing, from registration. And that's how basically it is over here. So I kind of like it because everything is very visual on how the workflow works. Every system is different. Like as you saw it in Actionetics, it's more like a step by step. Over here is very visual. You click add, you have options over here, it divides back and forth and everything. But I really like everything over here, because if I want to change anything, I know that all of this series is focused on a specific funnel. And then after that is basically that's it, that's done. You can come over here again to ActiveCampaign, look for your automations, and over here you have, well, you can change it. Right now it says welcoming series, you can put it over there. Now the other option that I don't like it, because now you start creating more work for yourself. Over here it's easier to come over here and see the entire workflow. What you could do is saying, hey, this is the welcoming series, so I'm just gonna send them a welcoming email. Then I'm gonna create here the other automation that is 1 day after, and then another automation 2 days after. So you see, now if you were to have just 5 days, you're gonna have over here 5 of those things for each funnel, right? And then you're gonna have other type of automations. So it's gonna get very chaotic. That's why I like it to have everything in one single automation. And that's basically everything. It's not that complicated. It's just about having that high level on how everything works. If you were to look at any other email marketing system, it works that way. You're gonna have different email lists. You're gonna have something, maybe it's not gonna call automation, it's gonna go called differently, sometimes called campaigns, and in each campaign you can add over there what's the trigger or when do you want that campaign to be sent. Very similar, and that's how you're able to build upon your campaign. So that's it with ActiveCampaign that we've looked at it right now. Let's take a look at the next video where I'm going to introduce another system called Market Hero.